Another day in the realm of crypto. We're watching Bitcoin just broke higher today, reaching an all-time high for this season of $47,000. So if you do look at this, there is a possibility of making such a move in the market. We consolidated for 50 days before this breakout. Now we're showing there is a possibility of a continuation. A lot of people would basically give you another opinion for sure, but look at the macro chart. When you do look at the market, you need to understand what's happening here. We discussed about the scenario in yesterday's video, and now we are watching something like that playing out. You're looking at the altcoin market, and this is something we've been discussing for a couple of weeks, and this is what's happening in the market. So you have a lot of things happening, especially when this kind of a signal comes into the market, and then you look at a monthly chart and you're like, whoa. This is as usual. The Kramer impact is going to come into the market. It's about to blow through $60,000, $70,000 Bitcoin, hitting all-time highs. And then you watch things like this. It's absolutely bullish. Just remember what these guys actually give you. It's kind of that area in the market where you should not miss those or do something else. Because the negative portion here is all the hype towards the ETF. If it's getting delayed in a couple of days, that's going to create something bad. And if that gets accepted and the volume expected to go in is being announced and it's low, we will see some volatility. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. We talked about this few months back, 2-3 months back, and we followed it through, giving you guys the narrative of watch this. Most likely this is going to happen. Now, yes, it didn't happen in 60 days. It took few weeks more, but we got the exact same thing playing out. Did we nail that? That's something really interesting when I'm looking at the market. And then you come into the market, right? You're looking at the market to see what the market is showing you, and there is a lot of different indications, especially when you look at this, like in a pop to 47,000. But why did the price really do that? And this is where SI family has the advantage. When we discussed about this pattern, maybe 2 days back, we actually saw like there is a possibility that everything is slowly turning bullish. It's a positive outlook for me. The reason is as shown here. And I was expecting a move to the upside. Now this is the reality, which was great. Now at that point, it was just 45,000. You were showing the upside. And I reiterated the fact, those who bought the dip were one of those lucky guys who knew what's coming in. And the priority is this. Before the drop or the flash crash or the flush of the leverages came in, SI family was told to watch this. So the entire fam was kind of, oh, that's going to be a bad thing. But then this is what happened. Boom, you come back down, you hit that trend line, retest that and bounce off. So we follow it up. The SI family is one of the most educated and well-informed group in the crypto market, and that's why we're growing towards that 1,000 members. Right now we're at 936 members and growing. The market is showing you all these details. So guys, if you haven't actually smashed that like button, please do consider smashing that. I'm watching a lot of you actually doing that. Likes are like 400, 500 likes coming in, and I'm really thankful for each and every one of you who's smashing that like button. Now let's actually dive into what really is happening, especially XRP. When you do look at things, this is something we all have to keep in mind. The price is making higher lows. I reiterate. Why? Because that's the fact. It does not change unless it's changing in the market, right? And you didn't actually have a lot of positive volume here, but you're still maintaining the bullish segment. And the price to RSI is showing you a hidden bullish divergence. That's positive for the overall market. But if you are looking at the crypto market as a whole, Bitcoin is leading the market because the Bitcoin dominance is going through the roof. So historical trend line looks something like this. That's interesting, isn't it? Now, we're taking it all the way from that 2015, 2016 range where you got Ether blowing off, altcoins taking off, that kind of a segment. So right now, when you do look at these, you're watching like, okay, how high can the Bitcoin dominance go? Most likely somewhat like 58. Now, we've been saying this when it was here. We were kind of talking about the exact same thing, saying we are going to break through this range. We're going to come up here. Yes, it took 2-3 months, but it does look like what we have discussed before. And that's where this has a lot. This is the altcoin market. While the market does these kind of stuff, it doesn't actually look. Now, if you are serious and you're looking at the market on a macro, yes, it is painful. Why? Because on a short term, when you do see the market dropping 30%, and if you're in a levered position, 2x, 3x, 5x, 10x, you're watching a big difference in your portfolio from last week or the week before that, right? But if you do understand the macro picture, you're not making a mistake here. You're not, right? You know where we are going and how things are going to evolve. Easy part, go on weekly, monthly. Look at what the RSI is showing you. Follow that. It's kind of giving you the best ability to understand what's happening in the market. Last time you crossed out here, that was almost same as what we are doing here. There's the same time based on MACD, same time based on the price structure, and even the RSI. So I'm like, okay, if everything is matching up, 1 + 1 = 2. You change the numbers, the equation, okay, most likely your results will be different. But here you're watching almost the same thing repeating itself. So most likely you're going to see something coming up soon. And I'm talking about really soon, maybe 2 to 3 months. And that's going to be a great rally to be taking profits. So for that, first you need to understand, okay, market will show you enormous amount of volatility. It should. Because now you have massive institutions participating in this market. They don't want you, me, and others to make money easily. Basically, I would say, if they see like, okay, a guy is out there who's giving these guys, okay, this is going to be the support, it's going to bounce back up. And if something like this is repeating 3, 4, 5 times, okay, we are in trouble. They are looking at us. For sure, by the end of this market cycle, people will look at the SI family for sure. At least for last 1 year, we have been spot on a lot of different fronts, right? So if you do look at that and understand, okay, the market is now giving you a lot of predictability if you are doing things correctly. That means there is something happening on the other end. Maybe it's the whales trying to manipulate things. But I would personally look at this and say like, okay, if the strength didn't increase, I would have been bearish. Meaning, if we put in a new high, but the RSI is not showing you a higher high, I would have been bearish. But right now, the daily shows no, it's bullish. Great. The MACD, the RSI, it's all going bullish. Will we get some volatility? It should. Why? The breakout, retesting, and bouncing back up is the most healthy scenario. Now, on a 4-hour chart, that's where you're zooming out. Remember, you go on a daily and you don't have a divergence. You're going up. However, you go on a short-term scenario, on a 4-hour, what are you watching? It's important to understand. Here, the price is moving up. Great. Say you want to remove this and look at this. The price is moving up, but the RSI is not. So getting a correction here would be the best possibility for anyone looking to buy dips, meaning in altcoins. If you do see Bitcoin dropping like a 5%, you'll see altcoins bleeding 10%, right? Some of them 15%. We're going to see those, right? And then Bitcoin takes off. You'll see them coming back up, but not a huge burst until Bitcoin reaches a peak. This is again critical. If you want to understand what we are discussing heavily about, you need to also understand what we are looking through. If not, you'll miss a lot of big points. 1. Last time, most of the big cap altcoins performed here. Remember? Feb, March, April, May. this is that duration where we kind of topped out. But by that time, Bitcoin has already reached close to $66,000. Where did it start? That's an important point which we have to understand. It started from like 4,000, but the bottom was here, which was like 3,000 something. This was the retest. But this rally started close to $4,000 and you went up to 60,000, 65,000, 66,000, and then you had a retest close to 70. Great. But this was that time where money moved out of Bitcoin and entered into altcoins. So right now, I would argue, now we still have some room. We still have some time. Bitcoin has to come up here, test the all-time highs, slow a little bit down, money starts flowing out of it, entering the altcoins. That's where you will see a lot of burst. Because when you do break things down on the altcoin market, zooming in, this is what you're watching. The RSI is slowing down, slowing down, slowing down. But what's positive in it? Even though the RSI is slowing down, you're not watching price dropping. This is again bullish. Remember, hidden, bullish, divergence. This is your first low, this is your next low. But based on RSI, you're making lower lows. But in the price terms, no, you're slightly making a higher low. That gives you an understanding of what the market is looking like. Bulls are buying heavy. If you really bought the recent dip, you already know what we are talking about. We entered into some of those assets. They're already up, which is a great thing in this market because not everyone forecasts things almost as it is. And that's where the SI family gives you the advantage. And if you want to get these updates to learn, educate yourself to better align for this bull market, because after this few months, you're not actually going to see this coming back. Yeah, there will be a lot of people saying 2024, 2025, it's going to be the peak. Think about it. How does your economy look like? How does the stock market look like? Do you think there is room for next 2 years of a run to the upside? It's up to you. Remember, Bitcoin started running last year. That's something you have to consider. You go back to Bitcoin chart and you look at this. Jan 2023 is where you started the real run up. So if you look at that burst, that was the first week ending. And the next week, boom, you started up. So the bottom formation was 2022. We're in 2024. Remember that. So we already had 1 year of a great run up in Bitcoin. Remember, this is the bottom, 2020. This is 2021 Feb. So you already reached this point, and that's where money started moving out of Bitcoin. So you are about to watch a lot of people becoming millionaires if they are highly disciplined. And that's what I'm trying to do here, to keep you guys well informed and make you as disciplined as possible to make the best decision which you can ever make with all the information you need. So if you want to join the SI family, Patreon, you can join that using this link in the description. If you're in YouTube, if it's your Twitter where you're watching this, you can look that up in the bio. So now again, if you haven't smashed this like button yet, please consider doing that if the video is actually providing you value. Now before we close out, I really want to actually show you something. When you actually enter this market segment and you're watching the risk volatility, you should also consider something like this, which is the total tree, where you are excluding the alt market segment of Ether. Now, what are we watching here? The price did correct more than what I expected initially. But what is the RSI showing you? This is important because you'll see a lot of highly correlated asset in Bitcoin or with Bitcoin allowing the price to go up. Now, why am I saying that? Because when you actually come onto this chart and you're looking through this, you'll actually understand that the last daily candle, when it actually closed, gave you a highlight. What is that? This particular candle. That's a bullish engulfing candle. Last time you saw something like this, this is what we saw. It's interesting, isn't it? So you need to actually look through different segment of the market and which segment of this time, which segment is going to rally this time, following Bitcoin, reaching the next time to the new all-time highs. We're literally watching some of those, still entering into that bubble territory. You are watching this. It's showing you a bullish candle on a daily. Always remember, higher time frame structure matters. matters a lot. It's one of those things in the market where a lot of people miss this, right? So, and I personally say, okay, if you're in the market, make sure you understand what the market is showing you in the short term and in the long term. So you go on a macro chart, and this is where the monthly RSI is. You don't understand? Okay, you go back to Bitcoin. Look at each time where it topped off, where the hell was the monthly RSI? So I'm like, okay, guys, watch closely. I'm not a big fan of movements like this and trying to catch the top. Maybe it's going to do another 100% for sure. But is the risk worth it? It's completely up to you. But if you're an Elliott fan, you're like, I really don't want that. Right? Now, you zoom in. You want to understand what happened last time, what may happen this time around. So you have a lot to learn from what happened last time, and then try to see if that's coming in. If you do see the divergence forming, that's going to be a great signal which the market is giving you to take your profits and run out. So I believe, maybe I'm wrong, just like last time, you will see a lot of money exiting this area too. So initially, when Bitcoin actually was kind of, flowing through the market, slowing down a little bit here and there, money entered into these assets, they went up. Now Bitcoin is also going up. This segment of the altcoin is also going up. Both of them will reach the profit taking area. Money will move out of them, enter into the other altcoin segment. This is going to be really interesting time, because you will see if you are aligned well in the payments, in the smart contracts, in the gaming, in the AI. Now, AI is kind of reaching that top, so I wouldn't be heavy there, but it's all your choice for sure. Then you have the infrastructure projects and different segments in the market where if you do things correctly, you should be able to see which segment is actually moving within your portfolio. One, two, how to rebalance it perfectly to make the most out of it. Now, if you need help to do that, you can reach out to me. We do the one-on-one sessions, go through that. I give you my opinions. Like, if it's me, what would I do, right? Then you get to make the best decision as you can. Before it's too late, you can join using this link. And again, I repeat, I don't want to irritate you guys, but if you haven't smashed that like button, do that for me. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.